Obviously, I have talked about during the week how manifestation is based on the law of vibration and the law of attraction. One leads to the other, but there's one key, right? If we are aligning our energy, if we are vibrating at the level of energy of what we want, that is naturally through the law of vibration going to attract things into your physical world. You have to take action. The law of attraction, action, the final 6 letters at the end of law of attraction. Action. You've got to say yes. You have got to say yes. There is a story that my breathwork mentor shared with me that made so much sense. He said, when you have a thought, the thought has an energy, okay? And that thought in its energy heads out into your, right, morphic resonance, resonance being your field, morphic meaning that it's, you know, moving and changing and floating basically. And it floats out of, you don't grab it and you don't take inspired action, which is what we were talking about with the quantum feedback loop. Seed of inspiration, action, focus, abundance comes back. Maintaining your focus, staying in trust. If you let this thought out into your morphic field of resonance and you don't grab it, right? If you don't take inspired action, then it floats into somebody else's field of morphic resonance. It floats into their field. Their reticular activating system is looking for, because that's what the reticular activating system of the brain does, isn't it? Filters everything else out that isn't important to what you're concentrating on. Comes into your morphic fields of resonance. You take action. What happens? They've got your idea. They've got your idea and they're running with it. Who has seen somebody who has actually created what you have had the idea? I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times, and I've seen it with big players as well. So I think one of the Tony Robbins recently released something that was exactly the same idea that I'd had years ago. But years ago, I didn't take action. Years ago, I was only my fears. I was all my fears. I was all of my limits. I was all of my bad habits, right? So I was going to talk about today, because everything that we've been doing so far has talked about bringing your energy into alignment, okay? So we've talked about bringing your energy into alignment with the vision of what you want, and we've been tuning up that resonance too. We've been tuning up the resonance of your frequency to the resonance of your vision through the visualization, through the breath work, through the somatic evolution, through the activations. And I know you felt it. I know you felt the difference, which means the law of vibration is working for you right now. Boom, we've just hit the magic number 11 in the viewers. Hello, everyone. It's gonna be there for you, right? It's gonna be in your field of resonance. So I've given you the knowledge of, you know, so many things, but the next piece is that we've got to embody these things. We've got to embody them every single day in our routines, in our actions, in our decisions, in what we commit to. I was just in the shower this morning and I was like, you know, how do I teach people that they have to have unconditional love for themselves like that they would for their own child? You know, when you look at your child and you know, they've got snot hanging out of their nose, they've kept you up all night, they've destroyed your house, they've destroyed destroyed your vagina, like, but you love the fuckers, like, you love them so much with all of your heart, and that love feeling is overflowing in abundance. Like, how do we have that love for ourselves? Because we have to have love for ourselves in that way to stay in the high vibration, to commit in the moment to the new choice. You know, like somebody in here has just given up coffee, right? I've been through the journey of giving up coffee. It's not easy. You have to make a different choice in the moment multiple times a day. And we're used to making these choices when we give up cheese or we give up coffee. What about giving up the shoulds that you are starting to see in your spreadsheet? Those times where you're doing something because you should, because it feels like an obligation, because you don't love yourself enough, you don't trust yourself enough, and you don't trust in the power of the universe to do the thing that you would do if you already had what you want. What you want is waiting for you to start making the choices and the commitments as if you already had it. So how do you embody those things? You've written them down, you've seen your avatars, you can see how they express themselves, how they show up, how they commit to themselves in unconditional love. How do we get you embodying those things? What are the new habits that you are going to be doing every single day? Every single day, choosing the woulds instead of the shoulds, committing. How are we going to keep you accountable to that? As you're going to watch in the baptism of fire, as you begin to push through your visibility ceilings, as you start to step into your ascension and evolution, all the shit that has been blocking you starts to come up. That is the beauty of saying yes to the things that make you shit your pants, because you are finally being squeezed into the corner enough that you pop out, right? I call it the toothpaste tube. There's always a bit, isn't there? Like, I remember my mum was so hard up, she always used to snip the toothpaste tube to make sure we got the last bits out of the bottom. Because there's always a little bit left in the toothpaste tube, right? And what you're doing is chucking the toothpaste tube out before it's finished. That unleashed potential that's sitting there because you haven't been squeezed tight enough to pop it out, right? You have not walked into the fucking fire. You've felt the heat, you've backed off. And I am starting to talk sternly now, because this does set something alight in myself, because when I have reflected on my journey and the journey of my clients, that heat has burned. You know, that heat has not been comfortable. But you know what? We've said yes. We've kept going and we've trusted. And if we've not trusted, we've learnt to trust, and we've done the work to heal the stuff that took the trust away. We've gone so deep. And you have to go deep. You have to go to another level of your healing. You have to go to another level of your identity. You have to go to another level of your trust. Otherwise, you'll stay where you are. Nothing will change unless something changes. And that change is not outside of yourself, right? Those of you who have said to me, you know, this will be different when I move house. This will be different when my job shifts. This will be different when I get that check. This will be different. Fuck that shit. That is the biggest bullshit. Complete bullshit. Nothing changes until you change. Nothing changes because you're still yourself. You literally will just walk into that new environment, walk into that new job, take that new check with all of the limits and bullshits that you have. And again, I say this with absolute freaking love. You are, all of that shit is beautiful. It is beautifully you, and it can be beautifully crafted into your escape plan from yourself and the ways that you lock yourself in that paradigm that we talked about earlier in the week, the walls. They're just the same walls. One door in, one door out, and you're going to keep walking into the same room. Law of attraction. What is going to change? Your life is not going to change by listening to this mystery school, by the way. Because you'll soak this shit up. You'll soak it up and you'll feel really, you know, proud of yourself because you've learned more. You've learned more. We're always learning more. You know, we go to the next course, we go to the next, you know, freebie, we go to and we learn more, but we don't do anything with what we learn because we're still going to come up against the same fucking limiting beliefs. And am I making sense? Am I getting the messaging through? That's why we need somebody. We need a mentor. We need a container. We need support. We need a community. We need a path to follow. We need a step by step, right? To go forward, to walk through it forward, to be picked up when we fall. I'm blessed, you know, I have a one-to-one coach, and I have moments where nothing's making sense, or I'm lacking trust, or, you know, and I only coach with him once every 2 weeks. But in between, in those moments, I can go to him, and in a moment, you know, when I'm slipping back to old patterns, or the old identities trying to come through, or the old beliefs are coming through, sweat straight back in the direction where I should be heading. What are you going to do without that accountability when we come out of the mystery school? This is really important. think about your blueprint. So we've talked about the blueprint. The blueprint is wired by every single belief that you have. And that has been created by every single experience that you have. And basically, your blueprint is this circuit board that fires your perception, right? It's how you look through the lens at life. So if the lens doesn't change, then if you shift the environment and something changes on the outside, what's to say you're going to see it in any other different way? You're not. So what we want to do is go to the circuit board. We want to go to the blueprint, the awakened blueprint. The awakening to your creative power. You're awakening to your inner guru. You're awakening to your spiritual connection. You're awakening to the fact that you are the universe, and everything coming from you will be what turns up in your external world. And your actions and your behaviors, they come from this blueprint because you're a robot. We're a robot to our blueprint. You know, the power of the 7x7 method is the space. What you have created this week is step one. You start to create space to become more of an observer in life. More of a, it's like you're looking in through a window on yourself, and you can go, does that match up to what I should be doing or what I would be doing? And is this what I'm feeling? Am I going to become these feelings, or am I going to shift these feelings? Yeah. And then we need to move then into actually making the shifts. And this is what grows your business. Like, if you think about it, every day in your business, you're making certain decisions, you're taking certain actions. And I know that where I really got plateaued and stuck was where I was trying to follow the logical path, follow the logical route, do things that other people had done for their success, and it was working. You know, I always felt like I'm not doing enough, actually. That used to feel like I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing something more. But what I realized when I lost my dog, when I stepped back completely, when I was squeezed out of that toothpaste tube and literally forced to say, do you know what? All of this stuff that I have learned, I'm actually going to take a punt and live through this stuff. You know, I'm going to trust that the money won't stop coming. I'm going to trust that the clients won't stop coming. I'm going to trust that the money will be there to keep paying for my coaches and my team and everything that else I had created in a six-figure business. I'm going to trust that I can step back and I can step in. I can take the inner journey where I created the 7x7 method. My business went to multiple six figures in under 3 months. You know, that is possible for you. We've not talked about money that much this week. We've not talked about your business that much this week. But everything that we have talked about will be what creates your next level of income, impact, and influence. But you've got to take learning to practice. You've got to start showing up in a different way. You know, this creativity that we've connected to inside, it's got to start filtering out through your content, through your conversations, through the the walls that you have up. Beautiful post from my client on Instagram. She's like, the conversation you don't want to have, or the what do you call it when it's like the unpopular point of view. And she talked about DMs. For months she was so against DMs. I'm not sending DMs. No way. No, I'm not sending. No, I hate that selling, cold messaging. Nope, don't like it. And her position has completely changed because she feels differently about herself. She feels differently about her worth. She feels differently about her work. She feels more clear on what she's actually offering and what she's actually sacrificing if she doesn't jump into the DM and connect with somebody who has liked her post. And she fucking posted a reel about this. The unpopular opinion about cold DMs. They are absolutely necessary in your business. She feels differently, so she's taking different action. Do you see how this works and how important this is to growing your business, making your money, and expanding your experience of life too? Again, vibrating the law of vibration. Shit's going to vibrate to you and you're going to say no. You're going to say, no, I can't afford that. Or, wow, no, I can't take time off here. You know, you're constantly creating the future path from your past experiences instead of being here in the now fully and accessing